What's up? Just look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am a sexy beast. Actually, my mum listens to this podcast. You can do that, mum. That's all right. That's all right. Anyway, how are you? What's going on? Now, got a little foundational understanding to bring to you today. A little bit of clarity, a little bit of teaching, a little bit of preaching. The most important job is the one you're at. And I think we say that a lot, and to me that's got to be part of your standards, your company standards. If, like I say all the time, if you don't know what you stand for, you can fall for anything. So if you don't have that sort of 10 commandments that like, hey, near enough is not good enough, hey, we test everything, assume nothing. If you don't have that sort of foundational understanding or foundational document or foundational tablet, right, you tablet in terms of like old school Moses chipping this thing out, you know what I'm saying? If you don't have those sort of standards, you and your staff members can fall for anything. And don't just assume your staff members know what you want. They are not mind readers. And sometimes we can think that we have said something and we haven't, or we've miscommunicated, or they've taken it in a certain way, and we're like, I didn't mean that. I would never say that. And we just got to calm down. It was funny the other day. I was was like, what was I doing? I went to put a record on, and I put it on, and like didn't work, and I was like, God, what's going on? Like someone's broken the record player, and then I realised that it was unplugged. And I'd moved it because we're doing a gentle renovation. I was like, okay, sweet. I just needed to calm down and double check. Like, I didn't need to lose it. Didn't need to fly off the handle. Didn't need to have a go at anyone. Didn't need to say the kids break everything. Just needed to check it was plugged in or not. So sometimes, it's so easy to react to things. And we've just got to stay calm, stay focused, keep a good temperament. Funny, I was doing Pilates this morning. Did I tell you I do Pilates? With one of my good mates. Shout out to the Big D. And it's really, really nice time in there. And Sean Paul Temperature came on. And I'm just a big Sean Paul fan. Got a Sean Paul tattoo on my lower back. Got another Sean Paul tattoo on my upper thigh. And I just love it. That Temperature song, greatest song in the universe. Right? Might as well be. Anyway, so that came on and it got me thinking about an early podcast Cam and I did about, temperature. If you've got the right temperament, the business owner temperament, the calm temperament, the wise temperament, and you've got to have an element of consistency to your character that people feel safe to be around you and safe to work around you, because that will retain clients, right? If you're flying off the handle about overtime, or sometimes it's interesting to watch people, they make really easy conversations difficult, or they don't have difficult conversations, so everything gets awkward and harder, but they deliberately don't have them because it's in their best interest to not have them, but then they fly off the handle when someone tries to have them. So it's like you've got to have that business owner temperament. You've got to call things out. You've got to call it as you see it. You've got to be honest. You've got to be reliable. You've got to be consistent. And your character has to be of some sort of substance, right? And I think, the greatest sales techniques, I just hate sales so much. Like I just think you just tell people honestly what they need. So sales for me to switchboard upgrade was like, this board sucks. It needs to be upgraded. It doesn't matter how you say it. Like if you're authentic and genuine, people can read that. And I think when you just say something, oh hey, like this really should be looked at. I'm a big believer, like at the young stage of business I was at, when I started out, I wouldn't even say anything because I'd be like, oh, she'll be right. Been like that for 70 years. Be like that for 70 more. And who said that before? You probably have. That was just the insecurity in me saying that. And I think, just be honest. Just be like, hey, this board needs an upgrade. It's going to be $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $2,000. 10 grand. Doesn't really matter what it is, but like be honest. And I think bigger than anything, bigger than any sexy sales pitch or 4 steps to the sales funnel of the trade gods, just be authentic and be genuine and know your numbers. If your product's good, your numbers are good, and your people skills are good, you do some great things. You do some excellent things. So don't overcomplicate what should be a simple discussion. Like if your product's good and your numbers right and you suggest that, it's not up to you. Like I think a massive learning curve happened for me when I said to a client of ours, like I was like not going to mention that this job was like a 100K job. And I was like, oh, it's about like, no, I wasn't not going to mention it. I was like, oh, he's not going to want to spend that. And then I said, oh, it's about $100,000. Like what you want here is going to be around that. He's like, yeah, cool, sweet. When are you going to do it? I was like, what? Like, this is early on in business, and we had an amazing client. I was fortunate enough to work with some incredible clients over my time. And I remember just going, oh yeah, $100,000 to him isn't what $100,000 to me is. At that time, I probably had 100,000 rupiah in my back pocket, like the Bali dollars. And but this guy was worth like $800 million. $100,000 was not a thing that factored into his day-to-day spend. Like, it was like, oh, cool, sweet, yeah, that makes sense, all good. So it's like, you can't actually, it's not your job to work out how people spend their money or to feel bad about how much something is. It's your job to put something forward that's correct, genuine. You're entitled to make money. You're definitely entitled to make money. You run a business, not a charity. If you're going to be busy working for free, go to the beach and do that for free. If you want to run a business, you're a Sparky coach, it's the time to come. Shout out to our accelerator course. I've been saying this a lot lately, but massive believer that, you know, your business might have a bit of a dad bod, to the mums listening, you know what I'm saying, or a mum bod, and there's no whatever, like, out of shape. Your business might be out of shape, and it's time to get ready for summer. Summer's coming up, and summer is busy, and busy means no time, and no time means not checking numbers and stuff like that. So now's a great time to stop, collaborate, and listen Vanilla Ice style, and set yourself up for the best summer ever, and set yourself up for the best financial year ever, because you're entitled to make money, you're entitled to do good things, you're entitled to run a successful and profitable business, right? The most important job is the one you're at. So this is reference to me. I'm doing a little house renovation, and doing the Sparky work myself, because I'm an absolute lord. Actually, it was embarrassing. I had to borrow. I had no sharp speed bores, and you know, speed bores are just like a dime a dozen. When you're like, I've been out of the industry now for a while, and like out of the working on the tools part of it for a while, and you know, used to have like 20 speed balls, like just brand new ones, just sitting there ready. And I'm just like, nah, that one's not good. Nah, I'm talking about like 120-year-old hardwood. I said to the builder, you got a speed ball? He was like, yeah. And what I did was, I was time poor at this stage. So we built, if you can picture, built a wall, made a new room, and I had to get some power points in the wall and some cables down for the light switch. So what I did was, I did, actually, it was funny. It reminded me so much of when I started my business. What I did was, I just looped the power, bang, 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 and just literally, I knew where the junction box I needed to get to. So I just poked 10 meters into the ceiling, like drill strap in the ceiling, poked it in there. Same with the light switch, 2 twins, 5 meters, poked up. I knew where that box was. And it got me, like, I was kind of laughing, because I was literally doing it between sort of coaching sessions, and I just did enough to get out of trouble. Like, I just did enough to get out of trouble. I was obviously smart enough to it was going in cabinetry, so you couldn't put plates on, because I had to work out where the cabinetry was at that point, with no cabinetry plans. So it was like, I just multi-tooled it in later, VJ paneling, of course. But anyway, it's funny to do, because I was just got out of trouble, and I'm like, this wouldn't have flown at our company. The most important job was the one you're at. So originally starting out, you would throw the cables in the ceiling or leave it or whatever, get to the next job, because it was all about getting to the next job. And then as we started to make some mistakes as our company grew, I was like, no, we have to change something. The most important job is the one you're at. So you can reference this to site or office. If you're in the office and you're quoting and consistently getting interrupted by phone calls or emails, or your second browser's open playing the Olympics, you're like, well, of course I'm time poor. Like, I'm not managing my time well. Like, of course I can't get this quote out. I'm not blocking an hour out or 90 minutes out to get this done. Of course my invoices aren't checked and sent and gone, because I'm trying to do 17 things at once. So whatever you're doing, the most important job is the one you're at. If you're having a conversation with a staff member or a family member, put the phone down and have a conversation with them, because the most important job is the one you're at, right? So it's like, anyway, so I threw it, and then what happened was I threw it in the ceiling, walked away, and be like, wow, you know, what I did at this job, at my house, I just got out of trouble enough, because I knew like the bare minimum, they're sheeting those 2 walls and I can get away with that. And it took me a long time to learn this as a business owner. If I attacked this job as an electrical business owner, if it wasn't my house, I'd be like, okay, get those twins tapped into the box, get those PowerPoints all ready to go at that point. I had to move a fan across. I could have done that. I could have got the cable for the wall lights in. There was probably about a day's worth of work that I could have done, but I just got out of the 30 to 45 minutes to 50 minutes of trouble that I had to get through, Taylor Swift style, right? Trouble. And then I would cross it down the road. And what I did was kick the can down the road to a future day. Now, as you're growing a business, if you keep kicking the can down the road, right, it's very dangerous. So given this situation, there's probably 3 days electrical work at this point of just other stuff that I've got going on. So what I should have done was get everything prepped, ready, organised the first day. Send the bill for the client. Don't wait for the bill. Send the bill on the Monday. Every invoice has to be sent Monday. The accelerator program we've got going on, that's part of the rules. Every invoice has to be sent by the close week, by the Monday or the Tuesday. Otherwise, you can get stuff. I was trying to think if there's a punishment for it, but there's no punishment. The punishment is you just have another crap year. You have another year that sucks. You have another year that's not good enough. That should be punishment enough that you kick yourself into line, snap yourself into line, snap yourself out of it, Arctic Monkey style, and have the best year ever. So it's like what I should have done was the day's worth of work, sent the invoice, got organised on the materials, order, need this, order at that point. And then otherwise, you land yourself in trouble later, right? So it's interesting. A lot of times at the start of business, I made it so hard for myself because I wasn't valuing the job that I was currently at. I was always trying to get to the next job. The most important job is the one you're at. When you're there, I'm not talking about maximizing the opportunity or like upselling something or like, I'm not talking about, I hate that word upsell, right? I just can't stand that word. But like if there's a board upgrade to mention it. If there's an earth not at a fan, mention it. If there's something that sucks, mention it. If there's an earth safe not in, mention it. If there's a light hanging off the wall, mention it. A broken PowerPoint, mention it. Don't be consistently trying to rush off. A lot of times what we do as business owners at the start is, or even as we're pushing through, we basically go somewhere, there's a board that needs upgrading, we just get out of trouble, and then we quote it in 2 weeks' time, and the client's like, well, how urgent can it be? If you like, really, you should have it's so interesting. I kind of want to say this scenario, but I won't because I want to protect one of our members. But they basically did something that they shouldn't have done that was the right thing to do by the client. Okay, they got the client out of trouble doing something that was like, I'm sure you can relate to that. And they thought that was the right thing to do by the client. When in fact, the right thing to do by the client was to be like, we're locking this off. Like, I'm staying till this is finished. I'm talking about quite a large job. Could have been it could have been a 5 to 50 grand job. Like, if you knew the job I was talking about, you would completely understand the situation. But there was a very, 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 very large fault find including a lot of items. So it was like one of those ones where it just needed to be locked off. Let's lock this off. Like the most important job is the one you're at. We don't have to get to the next job. This is dangerous. We'll lock it off. It's not good enough. And we're going to stay here till it's resolved. Now, a lot of times we don't stay here till it's resolved because we're busy doing other stuff. And that's important to recognize there is other stuff to get to. But it's the foundational understanding is that if you can make the most important job the one you're at, you'll finish your rough-ins properly. You'll finish your fit-offs properly. You won't change people midway through jobs. You will get that variations bill sent across so that you'll order the materials when you leave. You'll get the job notes correct. You'll make sure the right people are in the right spot at the right time. You'll speak to the gyprock about this, the plumber about this, the cabinet maker about this. And it's so important to be so organized because just as quick as the money comes in, sometimes it can go out. And sometimes it's going out because of self-inflicted on-site work or on-site lack of work. So what we're talking about here is going like, can we flip the script? Can we not just get out of trouble all the time? Not just tread water, not just fight for survival, but can we thrive for survival, right? Okay, can we just go like, okay, sweet. Like I remember the penny drop for us when at the end of the rough-in, we'd be like, here's the marked up drawing. Here's all the external PowerPoints are punched out of timber or punched out the cladding. If the cladding was in, hopefully it was. All the ventilation grills were punched out. Like everything was basically in order, Austin Powers style. Everything appears to be in order, right? Like Austin Powers, all right? So it's like everything was thorough, organized, neat, tidy, done, even to a point where sometimes we're like getting a piece of gyprock, putting it there, getting the subboard done at that point, or just putting the subboard in, and they'll gyprock up to it because it'll look pretty cool anyway, pretty sexy. So it's like, it's not always applicable to, but you just got to make sure you stop just getting out of trouble and start just like making it happen thoroughly, excellently. No one wants to work with someone who's disorganized or distracted or always just getting out of trouble, right? You've got to pull in, get the reins, grab a hold of it, grab a hold of your business, and just be like, hey, staff members, hey, myself, the most important job is the one you're at. Quoting as well, right? If you're on site and you do a board upgrade, just get the quote out on the spot. If you can get it done on site, just get it done, because the most important job is the one you're at. Communicate the figures, you'll probably land the job, book it in. Just get, if you're on site with some variations, is it possible just to get those done, right? Don't come back. Let's just get it done now. Just make it happen. And if you can't come back, you probably can't back because you need to hire someone or you need to bring someone else in to help. And that's a great indicator. And if we stop and slow down sometimes, we can do some great things. The danger is we'll continue to consistently put ourselves in busy business owner situations, and we would miss what's really important, which is our product has to remain good, our numbers has to remain good, and our people skills have to remain good. And if we can do those three things and prioritize the job we're at, we can do some excellent and some great things. So foundationally, change your attitude, change your structure, change your system, change your plans, and get it done properly the first time. Peace.